Welcome back to Greg's Grooves, everybody. After a long hiatus on the series Overlooked Masterpieces, we are back with Spring Session M from Missing Persons. This album deserves far more accolades than it has, and it has many. Spring Session M by Missing Persons is kind of genre defying in that I think you would classify it as a new wave album. Certainly has that early 80s new wave sound to it and production, but as many of you probably already know, the band was comprised of members of Frank Zappa's backing band. Frank Zappa, which hard to categorize, but you'd probably categorize as prog rock. So you have these highly technically proficient instrumentalists like Terry Bozzio on drums, who's just outrageous. But you have these new wave song structures, a cleanliness to the sound, very driven. I don't want to say synth heavy because it's a lot of acoustic and electronic instruments. You know, when I hear someone say synth heavy, I'm thinking of like Moog, I'm thinking like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, where it's like synth for the sake of synth, and it's not that. It's very song-driven, 3-minute single, and this spawned quite a few radio airplay songs: Destination Unknown, Walking in LA, Words. Those are the 3 songs that maybe more, I don't know, casual listeners of music would probably be somewhat familiar with. But there's other tracks on this album that if you're into music or you're a musician, you gotta hear the drums on US Drag, for example. Still one of the coolest drum patterns ever. So, you know, to me, in a time, late 70s to early 80s, where some of my favorite music is made, this album has to go right up there towards the top. It is up there with Parallel Lines by Blondie. It is up there with the Ramones. It is up there with Squeeze. It's up there with all these great bands of the late 70s and early 80s. And for some reason, this album just doesn't get the notoriety it deserves. And the group was great live. There's a lot of footage out there. Dale Bozzio, the lead vocalist, was definitely a forerunner of Madonna, forerunner of Lady Gaga. The kind of vocal acrobatics she would do, adding kind of like high-pitched squeals and sort of other noise. Very Gwen Stefani-ish before Gwen Stefani was even an idea. And I don't know how that gets overlooked in discussions about great female artists, great front people. It's really a shame. So if you haven't checked it out before, if you're kind of a novice and the new wave you know is mostly the Cars' first album or something like that, definitely check this out. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. When new wave meets prog technical proficiency, meets great songwriting and charismatic front person, this is what you get. Spring Session M, Missing Persons, definitely an overlooked masterpiece, and it shouldn't be. Until next time, take it easy.